Hello, this is Kathy with Kincaid Special Creations coming to you with our continuing fall series, Candy Corn Style. Our first DIY will be a candy corn garland. I'm going to show you that we have beads ready to go, and the colors are yellow, maize, they're all Waverly colors, maize, white, and pumpkin for the orange. So I'm just going to go through real quick and paint the bottoms yellow, and the tops will be painted white. And then I'll heat dry it and put a second coat on. And then we'll go to the orange. I'll also do the back so that so it'll look good no matter which side you see the garland from. I enjoyed doing all of the cutting course series. I hope that I've always reminded you what colors they are, but if not, everything that I did candy corn in this series was Waverly, white, pumpkin, and maize. Beautiful colors. I have to put 2 coats on the white and the maize because it's not quite as vibrant as I would like for it to be for those little garlands. So that's what you see me doing here. Then I'll dry it again and put the orange in. And I think I just put 1 coat on the orange, but I'll see in a minute. I can't remember. It's been a minute or 2 since I've done these. This one's going to be a little longer than the other ones that I've done, simply because I'm trying to get these last 4 DIYs up, because I've got all the Halloween ones that I did on this last live that I also have to do. Hopefully this weekend. Tim's supposed to be out to work all week, so I'm going to be doing this while he's out so I can catch up with all this stuff. We went to the beach last week, so it put me a little bit behind. Oh, ain't that pretty? That is a gorgeous color orange. It really is. I've used it for a lot of things this fall in different categories, but primarily that's the color that I choose for the candy corns. And I hope you're enjoying this series. I hope you take a moment to like, subscribe, share it with anybody. You can share it on just to one person on Messenger for me if you would. Just share the link to the YouTube page, or share it to somebody however you like. It just helps us to be getting a little bit more attention on our website. I think currently we're at 59 subscribers, and I'm like 1,500 views or 1,300 views being to the 4,000 views that I need. I won't reach the 1,000 subscribers, I'm sure, but I would love to. But hey, any subscriber is a new, what I'm calling my special Ks, because they're you guys are just wonderful. Anybody that watches my YouTube and comments or shares it with somebody, or visits me on the lives. We go live every other Thursday. Next one will be October the 20th. So here I am. I'm going to flip them over and paint all of the back. That way it'll, no matter where you see this garland from, it's going to be pretty. So I'm starting with white this time. Last time I started with yellow. Go figure. I'm upside down half the time anyway. But there we go. And we'll keep it going. And then I think I set them off to the side to let them dry. This time I might dry this part so I can get the second coat on, and then set it off after we put the orange on. Yep, that's what I do. I think those leaves turned out really pretty. They're, I believe, maple leaves. If anybody knows something different than a maple leaf, you can comment down in the bottom. Let me know what if it's a different type leaf than that, but I'm pretty sure it's a maple leaf. I know this is repetitive with me painting and drying and painting and drying, but this was a short, in reality, this did not take a long time. So I put it together. I thought it wouldn't be very long in this, but it is repetitive. I apologize for that. The orange is coming up now, and I'm pretty sure that I'll set these off and let them dry by themselves and go on to the next part, which is the beads. I paint the beads in the same color. I think I did 30 of them all together. But I'll show you a unique way to paint beads, which turned out to be the fastest and easiest way. I've tried it every way. I put it in the little baggies and painted them. I've put them on everything coming and going, trying to get them to stand still to paint them. But this time I just used, I caught my pokey tool. I don't know whether it's a knitting needle or what, but it handles about 6 of them at a time. And then you just plant it on the tabletop, and it just turns you can just turn your little beads and just paint them to your little heart's desire. Set them off on something and let them dry. That's what I'm doing right now. Setting me something to set them on. I run over real quick to the cabinet and get another one of my paint things and lay them off on it. And then I go on and paint the other 4, because I think I painted 3 of each one. So there you go. I've got 10 white ones, 10 yellow ones, and 10 orange ones. And I'm going to string them on the twine. I'm going to bring my leaves back and put those little teeny tiny, you see those little teeny tiny beads right there? I put them over the hole, but I put them sideways to where the hole on the bead shines out so that you can put the string through it. And that just seemed to help out so much, be able to string that twine through. And it makes them stand sideways. If you watched my garland that I made for Easter, when I put the eggs on there, the eggs did sideways versus doing long ways, so you really couldn't see the eggs or the pretty color that was painted on them. So for this one, I decided I would do it with the little beads on it, and it worked out real well. So now I'm loading them up white, orange, yellow, just the same candy corn colors, and then I'll put a leaf on it. To get it to go through that hole that's in there, I think I get the first one to go through, but after that I have to put a little bit of glue on it in order to make that string strong enough to come through the bead like it should, because you have a wide area, so you have to, there I am putting a little bit of glue on it. And be careful with it because it is hot and it will burn your fingers. But it makes it almost like a needle so that you can string it through your beads pretty good. I think I have to do that 2 or 3 times because it starts fraying off. But it does work if you can get it to stay on there. And here I am doing the second leaf. But I think right there I start having trouble. I have to cut the string off again. I tried to use that pokey tool, but that didn't work. It didn't push it through like it should, or like I wanted it to. I think I did finally get a hold of it, but it was not coming through like I wanted it to. It was fraying apart, so I took it back out, cut it off, put me a little bit more hot glue on it. I think this time I get my, no, this time, no, I didn't get my finger protectors this time. There we go. Now we're going to string 6 more beads on. Still using the same repetitive colors. I think it turned out really pretty. I was really pleased with it. The thinking of it went a little easier than what the doing of it did. And here I'm putting my final, or my almost last set of beads on there before I put my final leaf on. Well, I kicked myself off of the voiceover, so I had to start all over again. But I'm just continuing to string those leaves and beads, and then that last set that goes on, and I'll be done with the stringing. And then I did sit there thinking for just a few minutes of how I want to finish this off and what I want to do. I thought I wanted to do a tassel, so I'm sitting there thinking and thinking and thinking of what to put on it. So then I get this box that I was going to use for my book stack earlier, and I just wrapped it around there about 25 times or so. You just keep wrapping until you get it as thick as you want. You can do it as thin as you want, as thick as you want. It really doesn't matter. I left this in so you can see the process, but you just wrap it around and around and around, and then you cut it off, take another piece, put it through the top, and tie you a knot on it, and then you can I think then I put it through the top of the string on the beads herself. My fingers don't work quite as well as what I'd like, getting, what as the doctor said yesterday, 64 years young, your fingers decide they want to do what they want to, not what your brain thinks they should be able to do. So then I take the end of the string and I string it through that again and tie it up as tight to the beads as I can. That way it's good and secure and snug up to the bead. And then I make a little head on it. I think I put 2 or 3 knots in it just so that it would be secure. It wouldn't come back off again. And then you just cut that extra string off because you don't need it for anything else. I did put 3 little knots in it. It's always better to err on the side of extra than it is to worry about whether it's going to come off, especially if you're wanting to do something like this and sell it. You want it to make sure that it stays good. Okay, and then I'm going to take the extra piece of string that I got and wrap it around what I call making the tassel's head. You just keep your little bit out, wrap it around and around and around, and then you tie that part in a knot and cut off the little spriggles. I see I left one little striggle on that one. I'll have to get it down and cut that one off. But there we go. We're going to cut those little ends off. And then you pull it all up to you. And you stick your finger through the center and hold it out. And you take your scissors and you cut them all off till you got all them little loops undone. And then you pull it out, stretch it out as far as you can, and then cut it out however long you want that tassel to be. Just cut it off even. And there it is. There's my tassel. And now I'm going to do one for the other side. I'm sitting there thinking for a second, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then I grab it and I say, oh, yep, tassel for the other side. That's what I'm going to do. And I wrap it. I'm saying 25 times. You can do as much or as less as what you want, for as big or as less as what you want. You might want a little tiny tassel on the end of yours. This time I played it smart. Instead of doing 2 strings, I just did the 1 string and made the knot at the top of it and tightened it real tight. And I think I did this side 3 times too. Just knot it really good and tight. And then you put your fingers in, pull it out, make your little head part of your tassel, and tie it up. Like I said, you can make tassels to make just a garland out of it. If you want to have a birthday party and say your birthday is in certain colors, you can get that color yarn, or even twine comes in colors now, but yarn would work good for tassels. And just make as many as you want and tie them on. That way you could just make sure they're good, not going to fall apart on you, like some of the tassels you buy at the store that don't stay together. And there she is, all done. And you know, I thought I was done. I finished up that thing, and then I said, well, I slept on it overnight, and I thought, holy moly, maybe my letters will fit on these sleeves. So I checked it out, and these are Dollar Tree letters. They got them in a big old sheet now instead of 2 half sheets. But the letters did fit right on those leaves for me to be able to put fall on there. And it turned out really absolutely just pretty. I think here's where I'm going to show you the package of the letters. See, it just comes like that. It used to come in 2 half size that, one on front, one on back, which was easier to store, but hey, they're still selling them. That's the main thing. And so far, they must have been ahead of the ball game when they upped their prices to $1.25 in January. They must have seen inflation coming. But where the letters are black against that candy corn color, it just pops out absolutely gorgeous. Really, really, really pretty. When I'm all done getting the letters on there, some of them are hard to get off because they're like the thing is sticking, it's like a window cling, the white part sticking to it. So there's that done so far. And then I decide, there's my tassels. Everything's cool. And then I decide that I'm going to put some Mod Podge on it so that it will keep the letters on, because sticker letters or sticker anything is notorious for coming off, especially if you get them at the Dollar Tree. But I've bought stickers from Michael's, and if you put them on paper, yeah, they'll stick for as long as you need them to most of the time. But if you put them on wood or metal or something, seems like the stickiness gives up after a little bit and they want to come up. So if you just take you a little bit of Mod Podge and put it on there. Now, not like me, I got a ton of it. I have to do all 4 of them letters with one little bit, still have to put some back in the bottle. Excuse me, guys. When I get to talking a lot, I just get coughing. Now, instead of putting the pictures at the end of each one of these DIYs, I'm going to put all the pictures at the end of the video. That kind of like a final reveal like they do, just so that you can, take your time and pull the pictures up and look at them, see, what we did, what they look like. All right, there she is. She's going to dry clear because Mod Podge always dries clear. And it turned out gorgeous. I think the tassels was the right thing to put on the end of it. And we're going to set it aside and let it dry. Second DIY is the candy corn light. Hey guys, this is the candy corn light. I called it that because it's got that little lampshade on the top of it. I had already started painting it yellow before I realized I wasn't filming, so now I'm just going to do the orange, and then when the orange gets done, I will put the white on top. I think I end up putting like 2, maybe even 3 coats on this before it's all done. I'm going to dry it before I put the white on, hopefully so that it don't blend the colors. I think part of the yellow was still a little wet when I put the orange on, but we now have it right there. You notice that there was still a little bit of the yellow wet. I guess it had pulled up in that little spot. But anyway, I'm putting the second coat of orange on, and then I'm going to put the white on. This whole video is mostly me painting for various things. That's why I'm speeding it up so fast, so that I can you can get the gist of what I'm doing, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. That way I can give you one-on-one how I did it and what I did. As with everything else I've done candy corn, the colors are maize, pumpkin, and white. I'm now putting in a candle. I tried to put it in just by gluing the candle, but there's a ridge down in there, so I had to put the glue down in the bottom of that. Always make sure you have your little black button up to where you can turn it on and off. So now, there I'm done. Hello guys, this is DIY number 3, mason jar sign. I have a mason jar that had a handle on it that I took the handle off. I had purchased this last year. Took it off with my miter shears. And I'm showing you that they've got little lumps on it that I'm going to take off in just a minute. Before that, I'm going to take my little scraper thing and take off the watermelons and put them back. They're little 3D versions, and put them back till next year in case I want to do a watermelon craft. I'll already have a head start on it. These are my little clippers, my little nippers, Timmy calls them, that are just nipping off the side where I left that handle on where the miter shears didn't get close enough. And then I'm going to sand it here in just a little bit. But that makes it just right up against where the thing is. Then I'm going to take the sanding block and sand all the glitter and all that spot where you see the paper tore, just to get a good smooth surface. I'm not going to use this side for my sign, but I do want to paint it to make a finished project with, so that's why that is. A little putty and a little dent that it had in it, just trying to make it a little bit more solid so when I paint it you won't really notice it. You work with what you got, and that's what I had. Now I'm taking the heat gun to dry it with so that it'll be all nice and ready. We can sand it off and smooth it and get ready to put the paint on it. And nobody will ever know the difference. Then I'm taking my paint, which I should have done on several other projects that I've done on this mason or candy corn series, so that I can paint the bottom yellow, put 2 coats on the bottom, 2 coats on the white, and 2 coats on the orange. I dry in between coats so that I can get the desired effect that I wanted. I think I put 3 coats of the yellow on, if I'm remembering correctly, because the yellow does not cover near as well as I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or what it is, but the yellow doesn't seem to do near as well as the other ones. I do put 2 coats of paint on the white and 2 coats on the orange, but I'm pretty sure I put a 3rd coat on the yellow. And I'm just getting ready, going to put the heat gun to it again. I've done sped this up 4 times, but it's basically just what I've been doing this whole video, which is painting the candy corn colors. Because you don't get too much stuff that comes already candy corn color. You have to pretty much take it, unless you want to pay a lot of money for it. You have to take your time and go ahead and paint them the colors that you want. So there I'm finishing up the 2nd coat of white paint. I'm going to flip it over and put a 3rd coat of yellow on. Just because I even sitting here seeing it through the camera, I can see that it desperately needed that 3rd coat of yellow. I guess that board was just soaking up that paint. But which it does, and it depends. I'm sure people that do lumber know what takes paint better than other people, and I will learn as I go through. Right now, I'm using what's in my stash, using what's at Dollar Tree because it's the cheaper stuff that you can make quick projects with. Right there, I'm taking my paint and my tape and covering over where I had already painted so that now I can take the orange and put it on there. I had to open up a new thing of orange because the other orange paint that I had, which is Waverly, had a really interesting smell to it. I don't know if chalk paint goes bad. If anybody knows, if it does, let me know. I know paint in general will dry up on you, so then you can't use it anymore. But I've never really had an issue with paint smelling. So I don't know if something got in there. I don't know what happened to it. But anyway, there's my second coat of orange going on. I really love to paint. So any opportunity that I have to paint, I really take it seriously. So now I'm going to dry it up and then take the tape off. Set it off to the side for a little bit, I think. Or I might be going to put my letters on it. Oh no, this is where I put my dots on it with my paint, or with my pencil. I just take my pencil top. I learned that in the last video. And you just take and you make your little dots. And I put white dots on the orange, orange dots on the yellow, and yellow dots on the white. That's me cleaning my paintbrush, my dauber off. But a pencil does really good because the eraser is soft on it. So then when you're pushing down on the paint, it makes a better circle on your design. And I took that mason jar up a notch, I think. It was okay with just the white and yellow and orange paint on it. But I think putting those little, I'm sitting here seeing it on my wall and they're hanging up by my coffee bar. And it just makes it look really good. I'm real pleased with the way, even a month later, I'm real pleased with the way that it does. The top of it, I'm going to paint black. And that is also a Waverly color. The color, if you're looking for it, is ink, I-N-K. It's just a really dark black. So you usually don't have to put but one coat of that black paint on anything. Very seldom would you have to put 2 coats of black paint on anything. But there we go. It's got the little holes left in it so that whenever I get ready to hang it, I can just restring it and be ready to go. So now that it's all dry, we've got the all the paint on it's dry. I'm going to be putting this Home Sweet Home on the thing. I have a lot less trouble with this than I did the other Cricut stuff. So I'm thinking that in my defense, or in my self-preservation, I should say, I need to use the bigger letters than trying to use those little tiny ones. Those little tiny ones just do not. And for whatever reason, my skin loves to hold on to that vinyl. Every time I'm working on vinyl, it sticks to my finger. But there you go. She got the Home Sweet Home all over her. And that just turned out so pretty. I love that font with the little line, with the little secondary like there. Bubble lettered or something. That turned out really, really good. Taking the top to the transfer tape and rubbing it down so it'll stay in place. There you go. Look how much easier that was for me with the vinyl to use the bigger letters. Yes. I had to block out some of the language I was using on the other one when I was trying to work on the thing, because that was getting aggravating. But now I'm taking silver, I think this is Silver Lining by Waverly, and just making the little indentions for the leaf, or the ring that goes around it, so it looks like you can twist it off. And I didn't do too bad a job. I think that looked pretty good. So now I'm going to take some twine and just put me a little ring around it and tie it into a little bow. The bow is a little teeny tiny bow, but you know, me and bows don't get along, so that's how it goes. I like little shoestring bows or twine bows. They really make a big difference. And here I'm trying to put that in, but like before one of the other ones, it ain't going. So I put in my thing. This time I get my finger protectors so that I can twist that around so it'll go through that thing. I do paint the back of this. I think I paint it white. I don't think I do it on camera, but I do paint the back of it so that it is ready to go. If I decide to make another two-sided thing, I can just put it on there and paint the other side and I'm good to go. I notice that the string is way too long, so I have to make me a new knot so that it's not going to hang 14 feet down onto the thing. So now I'm thinking about what I'm going to do with the back of it. Like I said, I don't think I show that on TV. And this I'm just putting lines, little squiggly lines and dots. Squiggly lines all the way around it. I seen that on one of the YouTube channels. I started to go back up top and come down. Then I realized real quick, what if I don't end up in the same spot? So then I just draw my lines to define the areas, which I like to. This is just extra little stuff that gives it a little bit of oomph. A lot of crafters know. Now we're on to the DIY number 4, the coffee lover sign. This is my favorite DIY of all of them. This was a round I got in a crafter square aisle at Dollar Tree. I learned my lesson with the tape. I'd prefer to have had blue tape, but hey, whatever you got in the house will work. Scotch tape will even work if that's all you've got in the house. Same 3 colors, maize, white, and pumpkin. All by Waverly, all bought at Walmart. So I'm just going to put the coats of paint on there. I'm not sure how many coats I put on, but I just want to get this painting done so that I can get on to the next step, which is the most perfect thing, which ties it all together and makes it be what it is hanging over top of my coffee pot right now. And here I go drying. Like I said, it's basically this whole video is the same thing, and I apologize for that, but in order to get to what I want to do with the things, I have to paint them. And I do put a second coat because I do like the vibrancy of a second color of paint on there. So I just think that it makes it stand out and makes your thing. Now the back of this one I did not paint because if I decide to do something with this round, I can always turn my coffee lovers over and use the back, but still have my coffee lovers for whatever else I might want to do. But I think I put 2 coats. Yeah, I will put 2 coats of this orange on as well. That way it'll be, I can go on with the next step after I get it dry. It just, like I said, it just makes it really vibrant. I think that's the one that I was using the old Waverly paint in. And it has a smell to it. I'm not sure what it was going on with it. But if anybody knows, let me know. I've got rid of it, so I opened up a new one. I think I even bought me a great big, well, not a big one, a medium size pumpkin color for any other pumpkin or Thanksgiving DIYs or Halloween DIYs that I have. I have to, where I put the tape on, I left a little white spot, so I have to go in right here and touch that up. But it just shows you that if something happens, it's easily fixable. Don't panic about it. It's right there. Right here I'm measuring to be able to make my vinyl, and voila, vinyl. I'll cut it in half because I want to put the welcome sign up over into the white. I I don't struggle as hard with this as I do with the other ones either. So I'm pretty sure that it is the little letters, the detail weeding that I have the most trouble. If anybody else has trouble like that, please let me know. And if you found a solution to help you to do it better, I do have a light box. I need to get it out so that I can see that a lot better. Maybe my eyesight's not as good. Being I've wore glasses since I was like 3 or 4. But I enjoy doing it, so I will continue, even if I have to use bigger letters. That's fine. Just weed it out. You learn to deal with what your limitations are until you can conquer them limitations and go one farther. You don't have to just say, well, I can't. You can say, I can try. And if it doesn't get done the way that everybody else does it, find a way you can do it for yourself. It will be absolutely awesome to do your version of whatever. It doesn't have to be somebody else's version. Lord knows, look at the stuff that I do. I watch videos all day long trying to do research, and then I still come up with my own ideas. So, but I wouldn't be able to get the ideas if I didn't already have somebody else doing it ahead of time that sparks my interest to want to try. Now I'm going to do a messy bow. I've cut 2 of each color. Then I'm going to cut 1 piece of this and cut the little wires off of it and cut it in half. And that way it'll make that messy bow for me. And it's easy. You just, whatever you want. Hey, it can be anything. You can tear up pieces of fabric and make a messy bow out of it. It does not have to be ribbon at all. You can use whatever you want. So I'm taking my twine, make me a couple double knots on it, and then I'm going to hot glue it right there in the center, right above the welcome, stretching it out right there, making its legs pop out. And then I decided, I think I want a little bit more. So I'll go find me some leaves, put them on either side of that messy bow. And then I found a nice little pine cone. And that finished it off perfect. There you go. That is exactly what doctor ordered. And then, of course, on this one, I go around it to give that little extra dimension and put just dashes, like little minus signs all the way around it. And then I make the line through the center as well, like I did on the other. It just gives it a little bit of extra something like you have. If you're going to make one for a gift, that just makes it personal. You've taken the extra time to go ahead and make some little details that normally wouldn't be in there. You wouldn't think to do them. But, and then I thought, needs a little something else. So I made me some steam for my coffee. Look at that coffee cup. Isn't that a gorgeous coffee cup? Okay, guys, this is the end. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And the the pictures will follow of all the crafts that we did today. I hope you enjoyed watching and have a wonderful day. Take care.